hydrocarbons. Before I start the chapter, briefly let me run how we are going to use the Play6 application. So when we go to Play6 website, that is play6.com, click on practice. And here we are having different packages available. You need to choose your package, that is NEET Premium. And when we click on NEET Premium, we are having different subjects. And each subject has test papers chapter wise. And at the top, we have revision notes. So once you click on revision notes, it opens in a new tab, which will give you a brief application or a brief note about the chapter, whichever for physics, chemistry, biology, all. It will give us a brief note on the chapter. So when we are speaking about hydrocarbons, what is hydrocarbons? When we talk about hydrocarbons, these are the compounds which, or we can say these are the compounds of hydrogen and carbon. So when we say hydrogen and carbon, these are all the compounds of hydrogen and carbon, and we can derive other compounds also from it by substituting hydrogen with some other groups. Like for example, we can say CH4, or we can say your butane, that is CH4 it is. So there are different compounds which can be formed by using the hydrogen and carbon. So basically when we say classification of hydrocarbon, we are having different classifications of, or we are having different types of hydrocarbon. So there are three different types, that is saturated, unsaturated, and of course aromatic. Saturated, when we say what are all the group or what are all the compounds comes under saturated. So saturated, immediately we say that it is single bonded, that is carbon bonded with another carbon, but it will have a single bond. And if we come to unsaturated hydrocarbon, it is carbon double bond with carbon or carbon triple bonded with carbon. So we are having two different types of unsaturated hydrocarbon, that is carbon with double bond and carbon with triple bond. So yes, we all know when we say carbon with double bond, it is alkenes, and carbon with triple bond, it is alkynes. And saturated, it is nothing but alkane. And the third group of our hydrocarbon is, that is your aromatic hydrocarbon. So of course they are with ring of benzene we are going to have, or we can say simple, it is a ring of carbon atoms. It is a ring of carbon atoms. So that is what we call it as a aromatic. So when we say ring of carbon atom, immediately we say that they have at least one benzene ring. They have at least one benzene ring, and hence we say that as aromatic hydrocarbons. And next, when we say that alkanes, if we go in deep into the concept of alkane or about the analysis of the compound, we say alkanes are the group of the saturated hydrocarbon where we are having the general formula as CnH2n plus 2, where n is nothing but the number of atoms in the chain, that is number of atoms in the chain. So these are nothing but, or you can say alkanes may be open chain, like we say it as your CH4, C2H6, C3H8 and many more. But there can be a possibility of having cyclic alkanes, that is it would be closed cyclic alkanes, like we say cyclopropane. For example, it may be like this: CH2, CH2, single bonded, and here also we have. So it is a closed one. We can say it as a cyclic alkanes, or we, and the alkanes, it can be anything, but we use the word before as cyclo. It can be cyclopropane, cyclobutane, and so on. And when we are talking about the structure of alkanes, immediately we need to know what sort of hybridization the alkanes will have. So we can say that it is sp3 hybridization. How we say sp3? When we are saying atomic number of carbon, it is equal to 6. And when we do the electronic configuration, we can say it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So 2p2, when we are saying, it can be 1s2, 2p1, 2p2, or 2s2. Then px we are going to give as the total number of carbons. So it is a structure, we can say that it is tetravalent. The structure, we could say that it is tetravalent. And when we are saying it as tetravalent, that means immediately we could, the example which comes in our mind is the structure of our methane, and the angle in it is 109.5. So while writing, whenever we are writing the IUPAC names for the alkane, we are using a suffix as ane, like propane, butane, methane, hexane. So wherever we are using the name for an alkane, we use the term that it is ane, alkane. And alkanes, not only it undergoes isomerism, or isomerism in alkanes, we can say, first we should know what are isomers. Isomers are the compound with same molecular formula but different structural formula. So when we talk about alkanes, what are all the types of isomerism alkanes can show? So they show structural isomerism, that is nothing but the chain which is common in them. So how do we say that it is showing chain isomerism? In it, the molecular formula is going to be same, but there may be change in the skeletal arrangement of atoms. There may be change in the skeletal arrangement of atoms in chain is going to be different. Molecular formula will be same, but the arrangement may differ. For example, we can say it as N-butane, or we can say it as isobutane. So both molecular formula will remain same, but their structure will differ. And alkanes can be classified into three types, that is primary alkane, secondary alkane, and tertiary alkanes. So primary alkane, how do we differentiate? It is alkane in which a carbon atom is attached to one or none alkyl group. Then we say it as a primary alkane. For example, we can consider ethane. Secondary alkane, in which a carbon is being linked to two alkyl group. A carbon is being linked to two alkyl group like CH3, CH2, CH3. So suppose if I consider this carbon, it is being linked to two other carbon. Hence we are saying that it is a secondary alkane, or example we can say it as propane. Tertiary alkane, alkane in which a carbon atom is being linked to three alkyl group. One carbon being linked to three alkyl group. Hence we say that as tertiary carbon. In the same way, we can have quaternary carbon, alkane in which a carbon atom is attached to four other carbon. Hence you can say that that is a quaternary carbon. And when we are talking about how do we prepare, there are different methods of preparation of alkane. There are different methods of preparation of alkanes. Basically, naturally, they are being synthesized by decomposition of plant and waste matter. That is the natural synthesis method. But they are prepared from in laboratory. When we say if they are being prepared from unsaturated hydrocarbon or from alkyl halide or by reduction of alkyl halide, even we can use the Grignard reagent, or we can use even from carboxylic acids. So there are different methods being used for the preparation of alkanes. And here we say what are all the different terms they use. That is, when we are having a reaction taking place from alkyl halide, that is in Woods reaction, for example, if we say in this two molecules of alkyl halide will react with sodium in presence of dry ether. Here two molecules of alkyl halide will react with sodium in presence of dry ether to give us alkane. So that the name, it is a method of preparation of alkane, but the reaction is named as Woods reaction. It is a naming reaction, hence it is important to know. In the same way, we can even prepare alkane by using Grignard reagent. For example, if suppose we are saying Sanderson reduction, in this your alkene will react with H2 in order to give us an alkane, and the reaction is given an special name, that is Sanderson reduction, where you are going to use Ni, which is actually nothing but activated charcoal, as a catalyst. That is also a method which is being used for preparing alkane. And when we are talking about preparation of alkane from alkyl halide, we can have, that is, it can be done by using different reducing agent can be used in order to prepare alkane from alkyl halide. So there are different methods which being used in order to prepare alkane. And yes, of course, when we are using Grignard reagent, we all know Rx plus your Mg, that will give us RMGX. RMGX, we consider that as a Grignard reagent. And when any of our, for example, if I say CH3, CH2, Br, if it is reacting with Mg in presence of dry ether, it will give us CH3, CH2, Mg, Br. Hence, we can say that ethyl magnesium bromide, which it can be hydrolyzed in order to give us a alkane. It can undergo hydrolysis in order to give us alkane. We can also prepare from carboxylic acid. So, and one more method is very famous, that is called as Kolb's electrolysis reaction. In this, electric current is being passed through metal carboxylic acid in order to give us alkane. And when we talk about the chemical properties of alkanes, how does we say that what are all the chemical properties? Or we know that on saturated hydrocarbon, it is considered to be quite less reactive, and it can undergo reaction with difficulty. That is why a name is given, that is called as paraffins. The name given to alkanes is paraffins. So basically when we talk about the alkanes on heating with air, it will undergo complete oxidation to give you carbon dioxide and water along with a large amount of heat energy. It will give us large amount of heat energy when it is undergoing oxidation. So with this you could say that alkanes can undergo oxidation reaction. Secondly, we can say that even alkanes have the tendency of undergoing substitution reaction. That is, if suppose we take an alkane and it is reacting with any of the halogen. For example, I can say CH4 plus Cl2. And if that is reacting, it will give us CH3 Cl2 plus HCl. So what has happened in it? One of the hydrogen has combined with chlorine, or we can say one of the hydrogen from this location has been removed and Cl has taken its place. So we use the term as chlorination of methane. Chlorination of methane. Hence, it is just a substitution reaction. And yes, of course, what are all the isomerism? If it we say it as isomerism, what is that? If suppose you subject alkanes to anhydrous aluminium chloride, if we subject alkanes to anhydrous aluminium chloride, then isomers of alkane will be formed, and that is what we call it as isomerism or isomerization. Isomerization. So if we subject alkanes to anhydrous aluminium chloride, then isomers of alkanes are being formed, and that reaction is called as isomerization. And next one, we can say that aromatization reaction, in which aromatic compounds are formed. That is nothing but cyclization, we can say, or we can also say thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition, or it is also called as pyrolysis. In this, your bigger alkanes, that is bigger alkanes, breaks down into lower alkanes, and that is what we called it as either pyrolysis, or it is also called as thermal decomposition, or it is also given a name as thermal cracking. Thermal cracking. Hence, all same, but here the concept of thermal decomposition or pyrolysis is that the bigger alkanes will break in order to give, or it will undergo decomposition in order to give us smaller or lower alkanes. And next, when we come to alkenes, we should know that how do we prepare alkenes and how we are using, or what are all the structures of alkenes. So whenever we say alkenes, that is hydrocarbon with double bond, we consider it as alkene. So hydrocarbon with double bond, when we say it is an alkene, and the formula for that is CnH2n. CnH2n, we consider it as alkenes, and they are basically reactive in nature compared to alkanes. Compared to alkanes, they are more reactive, or we can say they are reactive because of the presence of pi bond in it. They are reactive because of the presence of pi bond. And for example, if we consider the lowest member of alkene is nothing but ethene, and the formula can be C2H4. Alkene is, so here when we say alkene, and whenever we try to name a compound of alkene or name any of the alkene in suffix, or we name it as primary suffix, whatever we have, plus that word we use is ene. that is propene, butene, ethene, pentene. So all those terms we use, that is primary suffix plus the word which we are using is ene. Hence we name an alkene in that procedure. And whenever we are talking about an alkene, what are all the isomerism the alkenes can undergo? So when we say isomerism, alkenes can undergo two types of isomerism, that is structural and stereoisomerism. So when we say structural, what are all the different types of structural isomerism the alkenes can undergo? Hence we have two different types, that is chain and position. So when we say chain and position, of course, there will be a change in the chain, and secondary we can say position. The positions may change. So position may change for what? The position of the bond, the double bond which will exist in an alkene. If it is changing, then we say that the particular alkene is undergoing position isomerism. And when we talk about stereoisomerism, it's basic that it will undergo geometrical isomerism, and the geometrical isomerism is nothing but the spatial arrangement of atoms is going to be different in it, and that is basically caused due to restricted rotation of our C double bond C. This is basically caused because of the restricted rotation of C double bond C, and we say the term as stereoisomerism, or we can say it is undergoing geometrical isomerism. Hence we will have cis and trans. Cis, that is in the same direction, and or we also say it as cis, it is your polar, and trans, it is our non-polar. So the cis and trans will have some chemical properties, but they will have different physical properties as arrangement of atoms is going to be different. In the same way, we can say cis structure will be more polar compared to the trans. And when we talk about stability of alkenes, it is basically stability of alkenes. When we talk about, it is going to totally depend upon the amount of energy evolved when 1 mole of alkene is hydrogenated. Amount of energy evolved when 1 mole of alkenes is hydrogenated. So we say based on the, so more alkylated alkenes are more stable. We could conclude that more alkylated alkenes are more stable. And in the same way of alkenes, there are different methods which we are using in order to prepare alkenes. Alkenes can be prepared by a method that is from alkyl halide, or the process of preparation of alkenes from alkyl halide. We call it as dehydrohalogenation. Dehydrohalogenation. It is also called as beta elimination. This method is also called as beta elimination. And next method is Setzup's rule, in which you will have reacting alcoholic KOH with unsymmetrical halide. In alkene is preferred, which will be maximum alkynated. So we can say that this method we can use in order to prepare alkenes. So when we say Setzup's rule, it is simple that the better the leaving group, more easily the reaction can occur, and the reactivity of alkanes, when we say, or towards the reaction, we can say tertiary will be more reactive compared to secondary and the primary. And you can also prepare alkenes from alkynes, and the process of preparation of alkenes from alkynes, we call it as hydrogenation. Hydrogenation, it will be simple if I say CH, triple bond CH plus H2, then of course it will give us CH2 double bond CH2. That is from ethyne. If it is undergoing hydrogenation, it will give us ethene. And we can also prepare alkenes from alcohols. And the method of preparation of alkenes from alcohol, it is called as dehydration reaction. Dehydration reaction. So it is very important in exam point of view that we remember the naming reaction. What based on the naming reaction, there is a possibility of asking question. So hence it is important to learn the naming reaction. And yes, of course, you can also prepare alkenes from the Kolb's electrolytic reduction method, in which electric current is being passed through potassium salt of carboxylic acid, and we can get alkene. So basically, when we think about the physical properties of alkenes, it is simple to remember that when we exist, lower members are colorless in nature, and ethene is with sweet smell, and other alkenes are odorless. Except ethene, all others are odorless, but that is ethene has a sweet smell. And when we talk about the melting point or the boiling point, alkenes will have higher boiling point compared to alkenes, because in alkenes we have pi bond. And when we talk about the boiling point, they will show regular graduation, that with increase in carbon atom, of course, the van der Waals force will increase, and so the boiling point will also increase. But the condition is the boiling point will decrease if we try to increase the branches. That is to be kept in mind. And when we talk about the dipole moment of the alkenes, basically cis structure will have certain dipole moment, but for trans structure of alkenes, the dipole moment is 0. Because when we say trans structure, both the dipoles are going to be in opposite direction, hence they will cancel out each other, and we can say that it has a dipole moment of to be 0. And alkenes have, you can say that alkenes have greater solubility compared to alkanes. The solubility of alkenes is greater compared to alkanes. And yes, when we are talking about chemical properties of alkenes, it will show mainly two types of reaction, that is electrophilic addition reaction, and the other one is oxidation reaction. And here it is very important to learn the term that is called as Marconi's rule, where we come across Marconi's rule. It is very important factor to know that negative part of the addendum, that is adding molecules, will get attached to the carbon atom and water along with large amount of heat energy. So when we say Marconi's rule, that is whenever you are trying to add, that is addition of any group in unsymmetrical alkene, the negative part of that particular reagent will attach itself to the carbon, negative part to carbon, and carrying lesser number of hydrogen, and hydrogen will go to the carbon with maximum number of hydrogen. Do concentrate Marconi's rule. If we say that negative part of the reagent will attach itself to the carbon atom carrying lesser number of hydrogen, and hydrogen will go to the carbon with maximum number of hydrogen. This rule is very, very important. Whenever we are talking about any chemical reaction, that is our addition reactions, the reactions will take place based on the concept of Marconi's rule and anti-Marconi's rule. Anti, it will take vice versa. That is, according to it, the negative part will attach to the carbon atom with maximum number of hydrogen, and positive part will attach to the carbon atom with lesser number of hydrogen. And yes, the concept is nothing but the free radical mechanism. It's a well-known fact. And whenever we are talking about a term, that is, we call it as your Bayer's reagent, the alkaline potassium permanganate solution, we call it as a Bayer's reagent. And this one, bromine water test or Bayer test, we are using to detect the presence of double bond. It is a method which is being used to detect the presence of double bond. And yes, next we have to talk about our alkynes. Alkynes are the group of elements or compounds when we say with triple bond. So whenever we talk about triple bond, the term or the name given to the triple bond is alkyne. And the formula says as CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2. So when we say CnH2n minus 2, the lowest member of alkene for this simplest compound is, of course, ethyne. And the common name for it is acetylene. This has bond dissociation energy as there is triple bond present. Therefore, we can say that energy will be high. And due to this reason, acetylene is mixed with oxygen, and for this purpose, or we can say, and the flame being generated is used for welding purpose. And the structure, when we say, basically it has a linear structure, and the bond angle for this will be linear structure automatically indicates that the angle will be 180 degree, and it undergoes sp hybridization. And yes, isomerism, since this will have a restricted rotation around carbon-carbon bond, then it will not show us geometrical isomerism. But yes, of course, it will show chain isomerism, that is converting straight chain to branch chain. So it can show chain isomerism, it can show position isomerism, that is whenever we try to make changes with the in the location of the triple bond, it can show us position isomerism. And of course the functional isomerism, that is conversion of one triple bond to two double bond and so many changes in it. So we can say that it can undergo functional isomerism. And yes, of course, we have the ring chain isomerism. In this, open chain can be converted to ring. That is open chain, if I say, we are saying it as propyne, and that can be converted to cyclopropane. So there is possibility that we convert the straight chain into ring. Butane, we can convert it to cyclobutene. It is possible. And there are different methods being used in order to prepare alkyne. So preparation, when we talk about the best method, or we can say the laboratory method which is used for preparation of alkyne, is by action of H2O on calcium carbide. By action of H2O on calcium carbide. The method is being used in the laboratory. Or we can also prepare by dehydrohalogenation of vicinal dihalide. Vicinal dihalide, that is, you will treat it with, for example, I can say 2,3-dibromobutane can be treated with alcoholic KOH in order to give us butane. 2,3-dibromobutane can be treated with alcoholic KOH in order to give us butane. Or you can even prepare by the Kolb's electrolytic reduction, in which electric current is being passed through metal carboxylic salt, and we can get synths or trans form of the ethyne. We can also prepare it by dehalogenation of the haloforms, that is chloroform, or synthesis can be done from carbon and hydrogen. And when we talk about the physical properties of alkyne, acetylene or propane, butane, these are all the gases, and other with carbon 4 to 12 are liquids. And if we exceed 12, then the stability, or we can say existence, changes as solid. And when we talk about solubility, they are basically weakly polar in nature, and they will not be soluble in H2O, but yes, of course, it will be soluble in organic solvents. And when we talk about melting point and boiling point, since it has triple bond, they will have higher melting and boiling point. Just because the bonding would be strong, we can say that it is. And yes, it will undergo addition reaction. That is the basic general reaction. We can say that it undergoes addition reaction, and in place of addition reaction, we can do the addition of halogens. To ethane, we can add chlorine gas, or we can say if we add Cl2, it will get added. Like for example, if we are saying addition, for example, we can say it as, let me write it here. If I say CH triple bond CH, it will give us, if I add 2 Cl2 to this, it should give us CH first double. From triple, it will get replaced with double, that is Cl, Cl. Again, if I pass Cl2, it will give us CH, Cl, Cl, CH, Cl, Cl. So you can either say it as 1,2-dichloroethene, or we can say 1,1, 2,2 tetrachloroethane, tetrachloroethane. And also, it's not that only we need, it can undergo addition of halogens, but it can undergo addition of halogen acids also. In place of 2Cl2, you can take even HCl. It can undergo with addition of H2O, which we call it as hydration reaction. That is, in place of Cl2, you can take it as H2O. Hence, it is very important to note that how the addition of the compounds are taking place. Simple, we can say ethyne. That is, we learned in the preparation of ethene that it can be prepared by hydration of ethyne. Ethene can be prepared by hydration of ethyne. For simple, we can say CH triple bond CH, and if you try to add H2, it gives us CH2 double bond CH2. Hence, we can say from ethyne, with the help of hydration, it gives us, or with the help of addition of H2, it gives us ethene. And next, if we go to aromatic compounds. Aromatic compounds, we are having, of course, aroma. Aromatic means aroma. That is nothing but the pleasant smell. And when we say aromatic, immediately we have in our mind that it is nothing but the benzene ring. It is nothing but the compounds which has at least one benzene ring. So all with benzene ring, we name the term as benzonoid compounds, and with no benzene ring, we say it as non-benzonoid compounds. So it is very important to know these type of naming is very important, that when benzene ring, if you have attached CH3, what is the name? It is called as your toluene. So it's very like naphthalene, anthracene. So all those names and their structure, do learn that. It's very, very important. Ethyl benzene, we call it as phenyl ethene. So xylene, orthoxylene, metaxylene, paraxylene. So all those names and their structure, it is very, very important. And when we talk about the isomerism of the aromatic compounds, of course, it will undergo the ortho, meta, and para isomers. It is a well-known fact that it will be formed because there will be change in the position. and in benzene the double bonds will keep moving. Hence you can say that structure showing double bond can be written in different forms. If we take about the structure of benzene, there is no hard and fast rule that the bond should be only like this. The condition is alternate double bonds, alternate double bonds. Hence we can say that the double bond structure will keep on moving. That is, hence the structure can be written in any possibility. That is, if you can start from here, from this, sorry, both are same, but you can change the position of the bonding. So the position of the double bond can change. The condition is it should be alternate. So, or we can say that it can have different, our structure of benzene, when we say it is planar, and of course it is having double bond, so you can say that it is sp2 hybridization. So benzene is being more stable compared to the normal alkene. Benzene will be basically more stable than normal alkene. And yes, of course, benzene can be prepared by polymerization of alkynes. Benzene can be prepared by polymerization of alkynes. That is, we can say 3 molecules of alkynes can undergo polymerization in presence of iron at temperature 873 Kelvin, and that can give us a benzene. So there are different methods. We can even prepare benzene by reduction of phenol. That is, phenol can be reduced, or reduction of phenol can be carried out in presence of zinc. That will give us benzene, or we say it as Friedel-Crafts alkylation. We have Friedel-Crafts acylation. So there are different methods which we are using in order to prepare benzene. And yes, benzene and its homologous, that is up to 8 carbon, are basically colorless liquid, while higher ones are solid with a characterized smell. That is, each one will have their own specific smell. And when we say solubility, they are basically insoluble in water, but it is soluble in organic solvent. But we should remember that they are toxic and carcinogenic in nature. It is toxic and carcinogenic in nature. And it can undergo substitution reaction, that is your halogenation. It can undergo sulfonation, nitration, alkylation. So there are different substitution reaction is possible even for aromatic hydrocarbons, or we can say it can even undergo addition reaction, that is addition of group or group of atoms to benzene ring, like hydrogenation, your halogenation. We can add ozone molecules, and also it will have the tendency of undergoing combustion reaction. It can undergo combustion reaction also. So when we say combustion, that is benzene, it can undergo addition, it can undergo substitution, as well as your what we are saying, it can undergo different types of reaction also. That is all we have for the hydrocarbons, but there are certain points which we should remember, like bromine water test and Bayer's test. This is used for detection of double bond, and phenol is being reduced to benzene by passing its vapor over heated zinc dust. That is a method of preparing benzene by reduction of phenol. Or benzene and polynuclear hydrocarbons, which is being containing more than 2 benzene ring, they can be fused together. But yes, of course, as I said, it is toxic, and they are said to possess cancer producing property. And petroleum and natural gas are the major source of our aliphatic hydrocarbon. But yes, of course, coal is an important factor or important source of our aromatic hydrocarbons. And fluorination, the alkanes will take place explosively, resulting even in the rupture of your carbon-carbon bond in higher alkanes. And when we talk about the molecular arrangement, it's of course the different molecular arrangement that is arising as a result of rotation around carbon-carbon single bond. We say the name as conformational isomerism. The term used is conformational isomerism, and this is basically arising because of the free rotation of carbon-carbon bond. So when we say it as your conformational isomerism, simple term, we can say the different molecular arrangement that is going to arise because of the rotation of carbon-carbon single bond. And since the single carbon bond is called as conformation, and it is not totally free, but there is an energy barrier that has to be overcome, and that is why we call there that place it takes it as torsion strain. And ozonolysis, it is a method which is used to detect the presence or position of the double bond. And of course, it is very important to remember that aromatic compounds that can contain benzene ring, and the one which is having benzene ring, it is called as benzonoids, and the other one is non-benzonoid, that is which is not containing a benzene ring. And please do not confuse with the name. Acetylene is more acidic than ethylene, and acetylene is alkanes are also called as paraffins. So it is very important to learn common name as well as the IUPAC name. It is very important to know the common name as well as the IUPAC name for each hydrocarbon you come across. So based on our analysis, let us try taking a test. So once you go to NEET Premium, it is having different subjects, and each subject has test for chapter wise, and if we click on chemistry, it has test for each chapter, and the number of tests depends upon the weightage of the chapter. And if you look at the indication here, green indicates that the test is already taken, yellow it is taken but not completed, and the blue one it is yet to be taken. And yes, of course, R is a random test which you get for additional practice. So let us take a test from the chapter hydrocarbon. So if we click on the test, take test. Okay, this is our first question. During the preparation of alkanes by Kolb's electrolysis method, electrolytic method using inert electrodes, the pH of the electrolyte, what happens to the pH? It is simple to know that whenever there is a production of KOH, that is your alkali, the pH of the solution will always increase as the reaction is proceeding. It is a well-known fact. Hence, we can say that option B should be the right answer, because your pH value will increase as the reaction is proceeding, because you will have the alkali, that is KOH, is being used in it. Hence, option B will be the right answer. Save and go to next. Whenever you try taking a test, do have a check on the time, because answer alone is not important, but answering within the specified time is very important. And next question is, among the following compounds, which can be most easily sulfonated? So basically, when we talk about chlorine, nitrogen group, it's negative. While if you are talking about toluene is the one where you will have benzene ring with CH3 group attached, and that will show positive I effect. and the other one, that is nitrobenzene or chlorobenzene or normal benzene, we are having. In these two, you will have chlorine and nitrogen attached. That is, chlorine and NO2 has the tendency of showing negative I effect, while CH3 group has tendency of showing positive I effect. Thus, you can say that CH3 group will increase the electronic density in the benzene ring, and hence toluene can more easily be sulfonated. So our answer should be C. Let us save that and go to next. We have to select the major product formed from the treatment of 2-bromobutane and alcoholic KOH. So it's a very simple reaction. When you are getting or when you are treating bromobutane, that means it is an it is an alkane, and that you are going to treat with alcoholic KOH. So it's, of course, it will give us butene and butene 2 and butene 1. That is 1 butene and 2 butene, and hence we can say that our option trans will be the answer. This is our major product. Let us save that and go to next. When propine is treated with H2SO4 in presence of, when propine, the major product formed. Sorry, I missed the fourth question. When bromoethane is subjected to Wood's reaction, the hydrocarbon mixture so obtained is, whenever your bromoethane is undergoing Wood's reaction, it will give you a product or combination, that is butane, ethane and ethene. Butane, ethane and ethene. Like, for example, we can write the reaction as C2H5Br plus Na. It will give us C2H5 plus NaBr. Or if you are doing C2H5 plus C2H5, it will give us C2H5, C2H5, and addition C2H5 plus C2H5 if you are doing, it will give us C2H6 plus C2H4. So you can say that it is giving us a combination of butane, ethane and ethene. So the option D should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. When propine is treated with aqueous H2SO4 in presence of, what is the major product? It is a simple reaction. It will give us acetone. See, propine, that means it is a triple bond, and when it is reacting with H2SO4, it will give us a acetone option. So it's all a chemical reaction which we need to learn based on what is the product being formed. Simple again, reaction of HBr with propene in the presence of peroxide, that is HBr in the presence of propene. So again, in the presence of peroxide, addition of HBr, simple, you can apply your anti-Marconi's rule here, and it will be easy to find out the answer, that it will give you N-propyl bromide. N-propyl bromide. Let us save that and go to next. Chlorination of alkane involves the attack of, chlorination of alkane involves the attack of, in presence of sunlight, Cl2 molecules, basically it will break to give the free radical. So when you are having a high temperature or under the influence of high temperature or ultraviolet rays, alkanes will react with chlorine or any of your chlorine, bromine, iodine. Free radical substitution reaction takes place. a free radical substitution reaction will take place. Hence, you could say that option D should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. Which of these will not react with acetylene? Which of these will not react with acetylene? We should know that acetylene is basically a weak acid. Hence, from the given option, acetylene will not react with NaOH, or if suppose they have given you KOH, because it reacts with very strong base only. A weak acid and a weak base combination will not be possible. That is, hence you can say option A to be the right answer. Save that and go to next. The hydrocarbon which can react with sodium in liquid ammonia. The hydrocarbon which can react with sodium in liquid ammonia. Basically, we should always remember that terminal alkynes will react with sodium in liquid ammonia, and that will give us ionic compound, that is nothing but sodium alkydes. Sodium alkyde. So from the given option, it should be terminal alkynes, that is triple bond. So in the terminal, it should have triple bond, hence option C should be the right answer. There are certain facts we should remember in the chapter so that it becomes easy for us to reach the answer faster. Next question is, propene on hydroboration and oxidation produces. It's once again propene on hydroboration and oxidation will give you CH3, CH2, CH2, OH, because it always gives alcohol. It will always give you alcohol on hydroboration and oxidation. So our option A should be the right one. Let us save that and go to next. The product formed when acetylene is formed. Passed through concentrated hydrochloric acid in presence of. It is simple. Once again, you can take when vinyl acetylene is being passed through concentrated hydrochloric acid in presence of cuprous, it will give us the product CH2 double bond CH, and you will have CCl double bond CH2. Our option D should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. What is X in the following sequence? That is, when it is reacting, X should react with sodium and give us Y, and in presence of NaOH and COH, it should give you methane. It should give us methane. So the simple thing is how it will get reduced to methane, or which one will get reduced to methane. So when we are saying simple, we have to consider some acid which will react with your sodium in order to give you ethanoate, and in presence of NaOH and CaO, it will give us methane and sodium carbonate. For example, we say CH3 COOH. If it is reacting in presence of sodium, it will give you CH3COONA. This is our X which they have asked, and if again it is reacting with NaOH and CaO, it will give us CH4 plus Na2CO3. Hence, in the question, they have asked how we reach to CH4 when it is reacting. Then we have to take ethanoic acid, which will react with Na in presence of Na to give you the X they have given, Y, and then the result is CH4. So your X is nothing but ethanoic acid. Option B. Let us save that and go to next. And when CH3, CH2, CHCl2 is being treated with NaNH2, the product formed as NaNH2, we have to look for the product formed. So whenever it is reacting, that is CH3CH2, suppose if we say CH3 CH2 CHCl2, if it is reacting with NaNH2, it will give us CH3 C triple bond CH plus 2 NaCl plus 2 NH3. Hence, we have to look for CH3 C triple bond CH. Our option B should be the right answer. Save that and go to next. It's also a simple reaction that when it is reacting with CH2 N2, what should be the right answer? It's a simple reaction that it will follow the concept of electrophilic addition mechanism, or we can say this is a simple example for electrophilic addition reaction. And when you do this reaction, you will get option B to be the right option. Hence, we can say option B. Let me write down the reaction. It should be CH3, CH, double bond CH, CH3 plus, when we are doing H plus, or we can say as your CH3, CH plus, CH3, if it is undergoing, they have given us your Br minus. So what is the product being formed? It is CH3, CH2, CH, and you will have Br, CH3. This is an example for your electrophilic addition reaction. So we can say that option B should be the right answer. Let us save, and we have given, or we have completed the test. Let us give end test. Oh. So here when we look at the indication of the colors, green indicates that the question we have attempted is right, and if there are any question with red, it says that we have attempted but the answer is wrong. And if it is in orange color, we missed to answer this question. Hence, if you click on the question, it would be easy for you to find out the right answer with an explanation. So if suppose you are going wrong anywhere, you can look at the, you can get the answer with explanation. Hence, it is very important to learn the concepts and take the test multiple times. If you take the test multiple times, you would be confident enough in the chapter, as well as go through the revision notes and then try taking the test. It will be helpful for you. That's all we have for today's class. Reach out to the, you can reach out to us with the help of chat application, that is Telegram chat. And in case if you have any doubts or you need additional help from Play 6 tutors or one-to-one tutoring on any chapter, on any subject, do reach out to the Play 6 management. Thank you.